Alright, on this particular one, we've got quite a few different things to find. Some of them we'll use a calculator for, some of them we won't. Some of them you can do manually, like with a calculator, pen, paper, but you can also do on the calculator with the mean and stuff like that. Cool? But we've got to find the mean, the median, the mode, the range, the interquartile range, then the two standard deviations, which we'll definitely do on the calculator. I would recommend probably entering the data first, getting it in there, having it ready to go. Then if there's one that you don't need it for, like the mode, then you can actually just do that manually. Is that cool? Happy with that? Alright, so this one, you've got the data, so remember statistics mode, so you go to mode 2 for stat, 1 variable. Now once again, I've got the frequency column, but I don't really care about it.
I need to go down to the office and get a tablet.
She needs to go down to the office and get a tablet apparently.
It's not a drug.
It's a tablet, it is a drug. By
Yeah.
definition, tablets are drugs.
It's called...
Man!
She's meant to be a medic.
So, yeah. By the way, her father's a paramedic. What are we doing with these children? Anyway.
She's going to be. She wants to be a medic.
So, looking at this, you've got this data to enter. So you've got that in, start entering the data, 9.0. Do you guys actually put the 0.0 in when you're doing it?
Yes, I do.
It doesn't really matter, but I do it. Just have it. Okay. 9.0 equals 8.7 equals 9.2. And normally what I would do is I would tick them off as I go so that I don't stuff it up. Because if you're entering 100 data points, you can get confused when Perry walks in and goes, okay, so we've got 9.2, then up to 9.3 equals 9.8 equals 9.2 equals 8.8 equals 9.4 equals 9.0 equals and 9.1. Okay, so I got 10 points of data. Everyone else get 10 points of data?
Yep.
It's really handy to know that you've got 10 points because it says it's by 10 judges.
I didn't remember that. I've been sitting here counting them every time.
Okay. The other good thing is when you enter it into your data, like if I go shift 1 and go to my data, you'll notice that it's got, next to the row, it's got in the first column, it says I've done 10. So it's handy to know that so you can at least double check and make sure you've got the correct amount of data in. Okay, now, the mean. How would you do it? Would you do it on the calculator or would you do it manually? Okay.
Just to make it simple, quicker.
You can do it manually if you want to add them all up, divided by the total amount that's there. If you want, you've already got the data in the calculator, shift 1, data, variable, and then number 2. And it gets it straight for you. Okay? So that's not a problem. So we'll go X bar equals 9.15. Cool? So that's the mean. All happy with that? Okay, you can do it manually if you want. You don't have to because you've already entered the data. That's why I said to enter the data straight away. Okay, next one is the median. You going to do that with the calculator or do it manually? Okay, what are you going to do first?
Put it in order.
Put it in order.
Oops. Yes, put it in order. So, median. Let's get them in order. What's your lowest?
8.7, 8.8.
8.7, 8.8, and once again, then what?
9.
9.0,
9. No, then it's 9 again.
Cool, cross out one of the 9.0s, you've still got one.
And then 9.1. Then 9.2. And then 9.2.
I'm going to run out of space because I'm an idiot. 9.2, 9.2.
9.3.
Did you have your drugs?
Yeah.
9.3, 9.4,
9.8.
Drugs are drugs.
and 9.8.
They're not illegal.
I like the way you say it's only called the flu drug as though it's not an important thing. Is it pseudoephedrine? No, it's not, but I'm just saying.
Please don't use it.
Don't worry. Is it codeine based? Codeine is an opiate, like opium? Oh, I was allergic to codeine. I still love it. Anyway,
I still
so now you've got to find your median. What do you do?
find the middle.
Okay, what's the middle? You got 10 scores.
Well, then you go to the middle. If it's the two
There's
scores, then the
9.1 and 9.2 are there, so...
So 1, 2, 3, 4,
9.15.
so 5 and 6.
And you find the difference between those two scores.
And just to double check, make sure you got 1, 2, 3, 4 on one side, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. Notice how I counted from the ends. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Don't just start there because it'll get you confused. If you start from both ends, and even if you do go with your, no one on the internet can see this, but if you start with your fingers and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got 2 left, then you have to find the average of them. Cool? If you get to the middle and there's one in the middle that you haven't got to, then that's your median. Okay? There are ways to do it that you don't really need a brain, so Perry, you should be fine. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So, what do we got? We've got 9.1 plus 9.2 over 2.
And which will give you 0.5.
Hopefully it'll give you 9.15, but I knew what you meant. Okay, so we've now got our median. We all happy with that?
Yeah.
Alright, next one, we're looking for the mode. What's the mode?
Most frequent.
Most occurring, most often, any of those, most frequent. I normally use most often or most occurring because it's MO, easy for people to remember. Cool? Yeah. Alright.
2 numbers that are most.
Excellent. Can you have 2 modes?
Yes.
Excellent. What are the 2 modes?
9.2.
9.0, 9.2. That's the correct way to write it down. Just put a comma in between. Or you can write and. Doesn't matter. You can have as many modes as there are. Okay? You can have one, or you can have lots. Now, what happens if you've got one of everything? Or there's lots of scores, but there's none of them that have more than one. That's probably the best way to write it. Rather than writing they're all the mode, which doesn't actually make sense, you'd write there is no mode. There is no one score or couple of scores that occur more than the others, so there is no mode. Make sense? Okay. You can have multiple modes, but you wouldn't normally have everything. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. Alright, next thing is the range. Okay. So what's our range?
9.8 minus 8.7.
Now that you've got them in order, it's really, really easy. 9.8. 9.8 minus 8.7 gives you what? 1.1. Beautiful. Alright, here's an interesting one for you. I want your interquartile range.
Yeah, good stuff like that.
Okay, first thing you have to do is work out what your upper quartile is and what your lower quartile is. What's your upper quartile?
It would be the top 2 numbers in the top range. So 9.3, 9.4.
So you're saying it's that?
No,
No, it's
No,
just
it's in between that and the middle order.
9.2.
Alright. Okay, I'm going to say it's 9.3. I want you to know, I want you to tell me why.
Because it's top 5.
Oh wait, this is wrong.
It's in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's your lower. What would you... Why am I using those ones that I've highlighted, that I've circled in purple? Why am I using them? When we did the other one, we didn't use the median. Excellent. They are not the median. Okay? Does that make sense?
yeah.
Between those two.
Yeah. Like it wasn't 9.1 or 9.2, so we haven't used them. We had 9.15, so we still use 9.2 and we still use 9.1. Cool? So then we've got interquartile range is 9.3 minus 9.0, which equals 0.3. Happy with that?
Yep.
Oh, that by that.
Excellent. Oh, that was not where I wanted to go. Go. Now you got your 2 population. Now you got your 2 standard deviations. Guess what? Calculator. You still all got all your data in there, so just go to your shift 1 variable population standard deviation is.
Yeah, I know, but 0.2 is a bit. 0.2 is
That's the best.
Wasn't it 0.3?
I thought it was 2.7.
297. So we'll either go. We're going to go 297. Cool. That's that one. Then you've got to do your sample standard deviation. So once again, shift 1 for sample standard deviation equals.
She's going to, but then she's like, oh, I might just
And that's it. You're good with that?
Yeah.
So what I would recommend when you're doing these questions, enter your data in And don't, you can feel free to stay here if you want, so you can ask questions. Okay? You don't have to because you're off now, but if you want to, go for it. When you do it, enter the data first, then use the calculator where you can. Don't use the calculator where you can't. And it's all good. You all happy with that?
Yep.